What's up, good people? You got Vell here, aka Vell, and welcome to my channel, The Evolution of Vell. Yes, I am back, and I am back today with breaking news, a real update on Sweetie Pies, because I've been getting all kind of comments. People are tired of the reaction videos, and what about Tim, and what about this, and what about that? Patience, grasshoppers, patience. Patience is a virtue, and so when you are patient, things will reveal themselves. And so today is one of those days where we actually get real new information, fresh, hot off the presses, less than 24 hours ago. I literally was up in the middle of the morning. Universe woke me up and happened to run into the information of the newest update on Sweetie Pies. So with that, if you are new to this channel, please take this time to subscribe below and click that notification bell so that you'll be aware of when we post weekly videos and those ones sprinkled in. And just a disclaimer for those of you who are new, this is not a Sweetie Pies only channel. We have other content, and I am following the story because I was such an avid fan of the television show and feel, invested in it. And so we will follow the updates, and we will the major updates. I'm not gonna do a video every day. Go other places for that. But we will do the major updates, and we will, do our reaction videos, all of that, because hey, those of us who come to this channel are like true fans and not just here for the gossip piece of it. And that brings me to our EOV subscriber family, the notification gang, the comment below gang. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. I love you guys for your support, and for the added support, please like this video below. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as of less than 24 hours ago, so as reported by Erin Heffernan from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, she has an article titled, "Police Report Reveals New Details in Lead Up to Killing of Sweetie Pie's Owner's Grandson." The article starts by saying prosecutors stunned many in St. Louis last month, well, also us across America, when they brought a murder for hire charge against a star of a long-running St. Louis reality TV show about a wholesome family soul food business. Now, police files recently obtained by the Post-Dispatch reveal more about the burglary involving the cash and jewelry worth at least $220,000 that rocked the famous family in months leading up to what prosecutors said was a plot to kill 21-year-old member of the family. The burglary was reported the evening of June 7, 2015 at North St. Louis County home of Robbie Montgomery, a former backup singer for acts such as Ike and Tina Turner. In 1996, she opened her first Sweetie Pies restaurant in Dalewood. By 2015, Montgomery was 74 and known as Miss Robbie on the Welcome to Sweetie Pies reality show about her restaurant that was broadcast on the OWN network. Her son, James Timothy Norman, who went by Tim, and her grandson, Andre Montgomery Jr., were regularly featured on the show. On the night of the burglary, Miss Robbie called the police when she returned home from a vacation to discover her house had been ransacked. Her life savings and retirement funds she kept in cash drawers and safe were gone. So we talked about this before, and this proves that I was wrong, because I was speculating. My opinion was that maybe Miss Robbie would not have that sort of money on her. And then turns out that she actually, in fact, did have over $200,000 cash in her home, in safe and drawers. I did think about it after I recorded the video that, well, older people who may have, grown up with close association to the Great Depression, did have a slight distrust of the banks, due to, everything that happened in the Great Depression when you couldn't rely on banks and people lost money. So that kind of makes sense. So the article goes on to say, the police documents reveal officers initially suspected Andre Montgomery in the burglary. And after a few months out of town, he agreed to return to St. Louis to speak with police and take a polygraph test on March 10th, 2016. This is very important. Remember that date, March 10th, 2016. That day, Andre denied being involved in the theft and told police he thought his Uncle Norman was behind it. So Andre denied to the police being involved and said that he thought that Tim was behind it. Interesting. I wonder, was Tim trying to set him up for that? Wow, this plot is thick. thick as thieves, as they say, because there's a lot of thieves around here. Okay, so it goes on to say St. Louis County Police never closed the burglary case, but 4 days after Andre Montgomery was questioned, the 21-year-old was shot and killed near Fairground Park. That's why that March 10th date was so important, because 4 days later, Andre met his untimely death. 4 days after talking to the police and pointing a finger at Tim, he was shot and killed. And so the article goes on to say, last month, Norman, 41, was charged in federal court and accused of conspiring with at least 2 others in the plot to kill Andre Montgomery and collect on a life insurance policy against his nephew. So then the article goes into Andre's final month. So a lot of people, we've been wondering like what led up to it from the perspective of Andre, what was going on with him, etc. So we learn more about this. So Andre's final month. So it goes on to say Andre Montgomery joined the Welcome to Sweetie Pie's cast around 2011 after he came to live with his grandmother, Miss Robbie. The show depicted Miss Robbie and her grandson visiting the grave of his father, Miss Robbie's son, Andre Montgomery Sr., who was stabbed and killed during a fight in Los Angeles in 1995 when Andre was just an infant. The young Andre grew up in Lubbock, Texas with his mother, but would spend summers in St. Louis with Miss Robbie. He moved into her basement full-time around 2010 after he had behavioral problems in Texas. The teenager was a paid cast member of Welcome to Sweetie Pies, appearing in a chicken costume in scenes promoting the family restaurant, pursuing a rap career, and graduating from McClure North High School in 2013. But Miss Robbie's grandson got kicked off of Welcome to Sweetie Pies by 2015 because he posted images with guns and what appeared to be marijuana on his social media accounts and refused to take them down, according to police interview with Miss Robbie, who declined to be interviewed for this particular story. So I do remember the post. I have purposely not posted those things because I start to see a trend when certain people pass away of certain cultures. They always kind of go to showing anything that kind of depicts them as having issues or being a problem or potentially affiliated with negative, criminal activity, etc. So I don't subscribe to that, so I'm not posting those pictures. Search Google if you're interested. So the article goes on to say, she told police her grandson moved for a few months back to Texas after his high school graduation, but was encouraged to return to St. Louis in September 2014 by his uncle, Norman, according to police records. So in 2014, he was encouraged to return back to St. Louis by Tim. When he returned, Miss Robbie paid for an apartment for her grandson in West Central End and his tuition for community college so that he could attend a music program, according to the records, because he was interested in being a rapper. And we did see that scene from the video. I'll put the video here, the link. The video of Miss Robbie's tribute or remembering Andre, where they're playing the piano and, he's talking about he wants to be a musician. So it goes on to say, eventually, however, Andre Montgomery stopped going to class and was asked to leave the apartment building because his landlord accused him of using marijuana, police said. After that, he was renting a room in a boarding house for $120 a month and continued to work at Sweetie Pies up until May 2015, around the time of the burglary at his grandmother's home. That week, he asked for his final paycheck and left the city. He didn't return for around 9 months, but later explained to police he didn't come back because family members were accusing him of the crime that took his grandmother's life savings. So he's saying that he left because, the family thought that he stole the money. And I wonder, was it, primarily Tim trying to flip the script and blame him? And he's like, I need to get out of here because Tim is going to probably do something to me. So in the next part of the story, it actually goes into the burglar and the behind the scenes with that. So it goes into a quote from Miss Robbie. It says, as I walked into the house, I immediately noticed that the house was completely ransacked. Every closet and drawer was rummaged through and items were thrown all over the house. So that was Miss Robbie's quote when she made the police report from her home, moments after discovering, her home was robbed when she returned from her vacation. And so it says 2 handguns, at least $200,000 in cash, bottles of alcohol and gold and diamond jewelry were all stolen. Mink coats and designer clothes were thrown around the house. So whoever did the break-in, they stole 2 guns, bottles of alcohol, gold, and jewelry. That sounds like a young person, this is my opinion, but I'm not saying it was Andre, but that sounds like stealing alcohol. So, I don't know, I ain't no criminal, so I don't know, but that just seems small. Not the cash, like the whole stealing alcohol and the guns, but maybe thieves do that. I don't know. You guys comment below. Let me know what you think. So it goes on to say, Miss Robbie explained to the police that she picked up the habit of keeping savings in cash when she was a backup singer. According to police reports, she told the officers she would place a portion of her night's earning in her boot and continue the habit throughout her life. She told police she thought whoever broke into her house must have known her alarm code. So this really shows this is a family member. And she said only a few close family members had access, including her son, Norman, and grandson, Andre Montgomery, the report said. Police began to investigate Andre Montgomery because of his disappearance shortly after the burglary. He had told family members that he had a gig for his rap group that was out of town, though relatives say that they had never heard of him getting paid to perform before, according to the interviews summarized in the police report. Police also tracked photos of Andre Montgomery posted on social media with him posing with large sums of money and new clothes. Police listed him as a suspect in the crime, but he did not return to St. Louis until 9 months after the burglary because he was facing a misdemeanor assault charge in Texas that would not allow him to leave the state. So he did have a legitimate reason for not returning to St. Louis while the police wanted to interview him, because he had went to Texas and then basically was stuck there due to having to face charges there. But it says once the Texas charges were dropped, he agreed to speak with police and traveled to St. Louis. He told police he left St. Louis to be with a girl who was moving to Florida, but lied to family members because he didn't think they would let him miss work for that reason. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. He explained the cash he posed with on social media was given to him by the same girl, and she confirmed his account to police. Andre Montgomery told police he thought Norman was behind the burglary. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. It says Norman was in California at the time of the break-in, but Andre told police officers he believed Norman had influence to orchestrate it. I think it's clear now that Tim has influence, or had influence, to orchestrate things like murder for hire plots. It says Andre explained to officers at the time that his grandmother was trying to remove Norman from some Sweetie Pie's business ventures. Ms. Robbie eventually sued Norman in June of 2016, claiming his operations of 3 out-of-state Sweetie Pie's restaurants amounted to copyright infringement, and we all know that story as well. Andre Montgomery took a polygraph test at police headquarters on March 10th, 2015, but the results were inconclusive. He told police he had used marijuana the night before, so officers asked him to return later after a period of refraining from the drug. Andre was killed 4 days later, and St. Louis County Police never applied for charges against anyone else in the burglary. So then the article goes into the alleged plot, where it kind of gives some of the details of the murder for hire part of the story. I will not read that part because I've gone in detail in a couple videos, and I will post the playlists here, and you can get those updates. And I really go into play-by-play detail of the murder for hire plot with those videos, so check them out. One additional piece that was not in any of my other updates in regards to the Terica Ellis part of it is that Detective Donald Thurman testified at a Tennessee court hearing that the night of the shooting, Andre came out of a building at Natural Bridge Avenue to meet Ellis, the Terica Ellis, the stripper, and he said a third party shot him. A third party shot him. So that is definitely telling us for a fact that there is a third party shooter. So it'd be interesting. We'll see if, because what has still not yet been revealed is if they know who that shooter is. Are we waiting on Terica or Tim to trick off about who that shooter is? That part is not clear at this point. And Tim probably is not going to trick off, because no matter how this goes, he's getting an extremely long sentence, and he's experienced. He's a career criminal, so he knows this. And so, he, you know, the street code and all that, I kind of don't see him doing it. But Terica, there's a chance she would to, you know, maybe cut some of her sentence and be able to see her children before her dying day, like freely be able to see her children. So the article basically ends, fast forward, and it talks about the insurance agent Wally and his involvement. But again, check out my other videos where I go into in depth with those parts of the story. After charges, TV clips from Welcome to Sweetie Pies circulated showing Norman mourning the death he is now accused of setting up. Now, I don't remember him mourning. I remember him going around and talking about, you know, how he and little Tim and Charles are the only males left in the family. I remember that. I don't remember him mourning anything about this. It goes on to say, Norman visited the scene of the killing with his mother and TV cameras in a 2016 episode. So it gives a quote that we've seen as well in one of my reaction videos where Tim says, "Since Andre's passing, I have not gone through this part of the city. I've really been avoiding it." Of course you've been avoiding it. You've been avoiding everything that could implicate you in this, and you still weren't able to get away with it, because what we do know is what is done in the dark will come to light. So as it relates to Tim and him finally being implicated, we all know that he is currently being held without bond until his court hearing. We do have an update because people have been asking, like, what about Tim and what about his hearing, and, you know, just updates on Tim. The only update that we have on Tim as of right now is that he is in protective custody. It has been said that when he was in Mississippi, he was basically being, you know, teased and threatened. His life was being threatened by other inmates. So he's been transferred. However, he is no longer listed in public records as far as his location or anything about him. So if you search him in any of the prison records, he will not show up, and that is on purpose. He is still under FBI custody, and so the details about him are top secret. And that's understandable because this is a very high profile case, so I can see, you know, reporters calling and all of that sort of thing. However, it is stated that they believe he is in St. Louis County now, that he was transferred there, and that he basically is just under protective custody. So we won't really hear anything about Tim per se, I think, until we get closer to the trial. So that's kind of where we are with the Tim Norman thing. I hope that settles some of you for now until we can get more. This is a legal case, and so they're not gonna put everything out there, because in doing that, they could potentially sabotage this case, and none of us want that. As I told you guys, the major updates, I will try to get them out to you as soon as possible. I do have a full-time career, and so it's hard to juggle sometimes when the information comes out. I might be in the middle of a big project at work, and I can't just drop everything to come on the camera, unfortunately. But one day, with your help, that won't be a dilemma I'll have. So in order to help me with that, please subscribe below and click that notification bell. Like this video and share this video as well, so that, hey, we can continue to grow, and then I will be able to do this for you guys, like, and be timely with the updates and give more detailed updates and more of them. In general, like everything that's going on. I got other things I want to talk about too. There's a lot going on. But if you've made it to this point in the video, comment below, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue, because again, I get some comments and there's just some people like very impatient about the story. Like, what about this and what about that? And you ain't say this and what about this? And I'm not, for one, I'm not an investigator. I'm not a police investigator. I'm not a part of the case in any major way at all. I'm just a nosy person who commentates on it because I'm emotionally invested in it. So you have to have patience, people. And when you have patience, you get like meaty content like this that take us to the next point. There's still things we don't know about. And so with that, thank you for your support, and make sure to click that notification bell so that you will be aware when new updates come out, as well as those other videos that are sprinkled in. And if you're already a part of the EOV subscriber family and the notification gang and the comment below gang, thank you guys. I appreciate you, love you. Thank you for your support. Please like this video to give that extra layer of support. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. And there are other videos coming out. I had to now break to get this one out, but I actually recorded videos that were supposed to come out today. So I was gonna edit them. Now I gotta put time into editing this instead. So those will be coming out later this week as well. So with that, till next time, take care, be blessed, peace.